And thus, like a calamity affecting a city, the number of weirdos grew by one. Going forward, this self-proclaimed person from the future would change my life in a great way. Maybe. I didn't know. The concept of change didn't exist in the first place when talking about human lives. As no one knew the future, changing it was beyond anyone's ability. I had a dream where I kissed Shimamura. For a while after I woke up, I just sat there in my bed. All sorts of thoughts flew through my mind as I ruffled my hair, filled with self-hatred. Grumbling quietly, my head filled with excuses. I wasn't like that. I wasn't. I bet Shimamura wasn't either. As such, having such a dream about her was completely inexcusable. If she knew, she'd likely start avoiding me, keeping her distance. I had to stay silent, no matter what. I hadn't felt the touch of her lips. Obviously not. I had never touched them, and I didn't know how they felt like. And yet, the softness of her fingers from earlier was still fresh in my mind. The vividness of that memory made me feel uncomfortable, as if I just had peered into the subconscious wishes which dwelt inside me. My heart wouldn't calm down. We had been in Shimamura's room, where I'd never been, watching TV together. She had sat against the wall, and I had sat between her legs, leaning against her, smiling gently, in a way I had never seen her smile before. Shimamura looked only at me, and then brought her face closer. I turned my head to look at her, and she... Every little thing I remembered caused me to become even more flustered. Cold sweat covered my body. A dream like that probably just indicated that I wanted to become slightly better friends with her, right? Wanting to be special to her in some small way, closer than her other friends. Like, for example, while other people called her Shimamura, I alone would use her first name. That sort of special. Well, to be fair, calling her anything other than Shimamura at this point would probably just make both of us feel uncomfortable. Furthermore, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't recall her first name. Most likely, Shimamura would always be Shimamura to me. For an unknown reason, something about that made me feel relaxed. It was like a bit of tension had suddenly been released. I liked it. And there you have it. I wasn't like that. There was no deeper meaning to the kiss. There's not. I couldn't completely deny wanting to do it. At the same time, I wasn't sure if I did want it. Imagine this situation for an example. Sleeping Shimamura. No people around in a 5 kilometers radius. And an omnipotent God telling me that she wouldn't wake up for the next 24 hours, no matter what happened. By the 23rd hour mark, I'd probably be so bored that I might go ahead and try doing it once. What I'm trying to say is, that's how not interested I was. Yeah, not interested. Wait, do the circumstances even matter? Or is it just always weird to think about wanting to try it? If Shimamura, on the other hand, said that she wanted to kiss me, I probably wouldn't say no. I might be a little taken aback and confused, but I don't think I would be against it. Yeah, that's definitely weird. I could worry about it all I wanted, but it never helped me carry that weight. Again, to repeat, I wasn't like that. I just wanted Shimamura to think about me more than her other friends. That's all. When she heard the word friend, and wanted to be the first person who came to her mind. And yeah, I understood how selfish that was. In truth, ever since I met Shimamura, I've been wondering just how close a friend she saw me as. Was I like any other friend to her? Or maybe special in some way? The fact that she so rarely spoke of herself or other people made it really difficult to judge. Shimamura seemed like she didn't understand me well, but rest assured, that feeling was mutual. If I couldn't tell just by looking, my only option was to ask. Shimamura, in what way do you like me? Could I really just walk up to her and ask her that? What if she said that she didn't like me? What would I do then? As I copied what it said on the blackboard like a robot, my idle mind filled with endless thoughts like those, mostly regarding the distance between me and Shimamura, which was excusable, considering there wasn't really anything else troubling me at the moment. Even if I had tried paying attention to the third period maths lesson, the subject matter was far beyond the comprehension of someone like me who lacked the basics. And as such, the act of copying things down into my notebook was just making me even more bored. Every now and then, I quickly glanced over to Shimamura, sitting in the distance. She seemed slightly tired too, judging from the way she idly gripped her pen. Going to class meant having fewer opportunities to talk with Shimamura. We obviously couldn't do it during the class, and even during the short breaks between them, I found it difficult to walk over to her due to the distance between us. Furthermore, Shimamura usually spent the lunch breaks with Hino in Nagafuji. Whenever those two were around, I ended up distancing myself. It wasn't like I was afraid of them or anything. I just couldn't get used to the atmosphere they brought with them. That whole getting along with different types of people and giving them a warm smile business simply wasn't for me. If that was the kind of commitment, taking other people's feelings into consideration, that socializing took, then sign me off. Shimamura would never require that sort of reading the mood from me. And yet, there was nothing holding us together, and we easily separated. It was there that I sometimes, even if rarely, wished that she'd leave her other friends and stay with me. Now that I'd wasted the lunch break, all that remained was the time after school. Quite often, Shimamura left immediately by herself. She had started studying at home to catch up on the lessons she had skipped, I heard. It kind of felt as if at her core, she was a good student. Following her lead, I had ended up starting to do it too, studying at home. I spent the day extremely self-conscious, likely due to that dream, and found it impossible to approach her. That was true most of the days, us not meeting. Shimamura basically never invited me to do something with her. Her asking me to come to class with her had been an exception to that, which is why I had been so taken aback. I had never met Shimamura during a day off. When we hung around in school, or even when we went somewhere from there, we were always wearing our school uniforms, and I couldn't shake off the feeling that that's the kind of friends we were. As such, it was really difficult for me to say anything to her. It always felt like I'd come off as sounding pushy. She'd always accept people when they leaned against her, but would never lean against anyone herself. That was how I imagined Shimamura in my mind.